Time it is. Let's go. Hi, I'm Karceno. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Oh, man. Look at this bottom feeder. Look at him. While he's trying to calculate what's all going on social media and trending and how he can make himself trend, this man just gave the worst take in probably the history of worst takes. This man came out and completely disrespected Will Smith in a way that I couldn't even believe for myself. It was that just denigrating. I've never seen a black man in his position do something that egregious. I've already said what I wanted to say about this on the Patreon, because that's where I felt this needed to go. I felt in my heart of hearts, the Patreon was the best place to put this where it should be, where it belonged. And I just said the mass public should hear at least a response from me towards this. Because what I can't have and don't understand for the life of me is why some people don't seem to get it when it comes to this Stephen A. crap. And this guy has walked around feeling like he was invincible and he could say and do whatever it is he wants. And now that he got a little platform, he feels that he's in a position where he could say and do anything because now he's finally got a show that he's throwing his own money into where he could spew his rhetoric. And in an attempt to get viral with the Bad Boy success, and the weekend it does and over exceeds the numbers it was projected to do, instead of congratulating Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, Stephen A. Smith chose to attack Will Smith and said he wasn't supporting the movie because he still thinks Will Smith owes black people an explanation for him slapping Chris Rock. It's the dumbest take I've ever heard in my life. Why would he need to explain to black people alone why he did what he did? He's already basically said he did, why he did what he did. When he apologized to Chris, the Academy, everybody who ran the place. I mean, well, who else do you want Will Smith to apologize to? The only person he really needs to apologize to now is Chris. He's apologized to everybody else. Well, do you think he owes you an apology? For what? What about Antoine Fuqua? What about him? He did a movie with him. Do you think he didn't apologize to him? How about checking with these people before you go out and start making statements? Because I don't remember you having this energy beforehand. I'm going to tell you what this is really, truly about. And that's the real reason why I wanted to address this with y'all rather than go on any other platform or go to Patreon. I've already done it on the Patreon the way I wanted to do it. The Patreon, this is way more conservatively done. That's the problem. Until people start shutting this kind of nonsense down, you're going to have bad takes like this. And he wants to do this. And he's going to do what he did today. Now he's going to walk it back. He's going to say this. And then when the check cleared, Jalen Rose said the same thing. He said, all these guys are going to do this. And then when the check cleared, they're going to walk it back. So 24 hours later, he had black people all mad and talking about what he said. Now he got the attention back to his page. Now he can walk it back and try to say, oh, no, this is what I meant to say. This is what I meant. You said what you meant. People just tired of you. If you ain't got nothing to say, then just shut up. There's plenty going on in the world if you want to talk about on your show, if you want to talk about something. But just because you don't know or you was too busy, you tried to find a way to have black people going after black people when you're the main one talking about what black people need to be doing. Is this what black people need to be doing? Going after other black people who doing something positive, who ain't doing nothing wrong? Let's go back 2 years and going to highlight something they did 2 years ago. Let's put him, we not past it yet. Who not? Why do black people gotta stop using black people as your punching bag? First off, you don't know black people. All right? You don't speak for all black people. Stop. And they would not elect you to do the talking. The black people of America would not come get you to lead any conversation for them. So stop using them as your shield. You old black people. Did black people tell you that? That Will Smith owe us an explanation? No, that's your ass talking. You talk for you. Stand on your own 2 feet. Nobody asked you to get involved. They ain't suing him for defamation because they don't care. They don't want him. He just wants the publicity anyway. He would use that and walk into the moon. I was pro Chris the whole time. Chris got slapped. He was the victim. He said, aren't you pro Chris? I mean, damn. Who else's fault was it? Well, I'm supposed to blame Chris? He's like, weren't you pro Chris? See, y'all got to get out of this narrative. This was 2 years ago. We all made jokes about the slap. We all said Jada put him up to it. We was anti-Jada. That's what we was. We anti-her. We ain't never hate Will. We knew what Will was going through. Wasn't him. We know who the real problem is. We all know who the real culprit is. So we was against her. No, Chris Rock is a person that, that was just not a reason to do that for. If you didn't want to deal with Chris Rock no more, you didn't have to. But Chris Rock ain't innocent either. Like he done totally sold out. he ain't Black Rock no more. He ain't bring the pain no more. That ain't he been not that Chris Rock. He's sniffing around Adam Sandler, but he Jewish Rock now. But in that situation, Chris was the victim, and that shouldn't have happened. You don't slap nobody for Jada. I'll be like, are you slapping somebody for her for and this chick out here sleeping with everybody? Oh, hell no. So yeah, we took up him for the situation. That's what it was about. But you want to take everything back to the slap because that's what white folks are doing. They tried to cancel Will and make him feel guilty and all that. Black folks don't care. We was just roasting. White people were outraged. Oh my God, Will Smith, can you believe that? Can't believe this. The dark side of Will, Crazy. Everybody's losing their mind. Talking about Chris Rock is my friend. Like I'm concerned for Chris Rock. I'm gonna tell you what this is really about. That thumbnail is what this really about. Listen to this.
Or forgiveness. That's for Chris Rock to deal with. This is his call. He could have had the man arrested that night and insisted to the LAPD that not be the case. Could have pressed charges thereafter and insisted on not doing that to Will Smith, not making the incident any bigger than what it was. Yes, he came out with his own foot for next fix, got about $20 million for it. After tax, he probably walked home with about $6 million. But Chris Rock is damaged.
Chris Rock is damaged. How do you know Chris Rock is damaged? The man just got a Netflix deal, got all this money, got all this publicity. People pat him on the back like, all right, Chris. He waited about a year before he went and did his Netflix special. First Netflix live event was his concert. You talking about he got $6 million out of the 20. Stephen A., you don't know what the hell you talking about. You are just a worker. He was the executive producer of that. Plus, he gets all the rights. He gets all the points and credit off of that. He don't just have a flat fee. And they just say, hey, we're going to just give you a flat fee. He has performance bonus credits. And what if these things do over a miracle, he gets back in money too. I know you stuck on stupid because you spending your own money on a show that ain't sponsored. You're hoping ESPN pick up your show. FanDuel and all of them write you a big old check for your Stephen A. Smith show that you didn't already dumped all this money into. But it needs to be popping every day. So your show been dead for a couple of days, so now you got to come up with something. So now you say, oh, well, let me go after Will Smith so I could trend. This dude got ESPN and using ESPN as his vehicle to promote his YouTube page. When have we seen that? Now, because of that, Stephen A. doesn't realize something. he could put himself in a situation where one of these celebrities can come after him. Because now you're not just a YouTuber, buddy. You're big enough, and they can go out to ESPN. You don't think you're safe just because you're on YouTube. They can't come out to ESPN because ESPN promotes your show. That banner comes right across First Take saying follow Stephen A. Smith show on YouTube. So they're promoting it. So yes, they will put themselves in the lights to be sued right along with you if it ever came down to a situation like that. But this man said, Chris is damaged. How is Chris Rock damaged? Chris Rock said, I will not be sitting on Oprah chair, Gail, and talking about I'm a victim because I am not a victim. So how is he damaged? He don't have any physical damage, nothing. This man is ridiculous.
In the day and age of mental illness or traumatic incidences that affects one's mind and psyche and what have you, yeah, you might see him at Knicks games. Yeah, you might see him still going about the business of performing on tour or doing his job or handling his business. Chris Rock will never get over that, ever.
How do you know that? Did you talk to Chris Rock? Did the man tell you that he would never get over it? Because that's not what he told the rest of the world. So for you to sit up here and speak as if you knew, and if Chris Rock told you to do this, but after this, all the backlash you took from this, and all the people in the entertainment business from the William Morris agency, Mark Shapiro gave you a phone call. You know, I know that. Mark Shapiro called you because Will Smith's entertainment lawyer. I got Will's entertainment lawyer information, his agent that represents him and everybody, I got their number right here. I got Chris Rock's number. I got his manager and his agent's number. So which one you want? Which one you want to talk to? Who you want me to call? I could call Eric Gold. And we'll see if Chris is damaged. If it wasn't so early in the morning, we could do it. And his agent is Adam Vanette. Chris Rock agent is Adam Vanette. His manager is Eric Gold. Now, if I was to call them and ask them, is Chris damaged? What do you think they're going to say? Mm-hmm. Will Smith agent is Richard Lovett. Got it right here. Got his number. So I'm quite sure I will be giving him a call too. I Googled their phone numbers. I don't even think their numbers is on Google. But I don't have to Google their phone number if I have them already in my phone and in my whole memory. I could just go right here to my phone and pull them up there in my contacts, but see, Will Smith, Will's agent, Richard Lovett, his office. That's my search right there in my whole thing. See, if I tap that, oh, look at that. That search in my contacts. So they already in my phone, sir. We ain't gotta lie. Now, this man seemed to know or know that Chris Rock is damaged.
Will Smith apologized. I'm not saying he even has to apologize. I'm saying that while I watch him and Martin Lawrence promoting this movie, and I'm quite sure the reason he hasn't addressed it is because the studios don't want him to, and there's an obligation that you have with them, all fair, I get it. But somewhere along the way, he has to sit down and talk to the black community. You can see all the white people around Will Smith all you want to. Black folks have loved and revered this man for decades. He was the closest thing to perfection, as his friend Charlie Mack once told me, for decades. Everybody makes a mistake. This is not hatred. I love Will Smith still. But you got to have a conversation as to why you did that. And when you're apologizing, and when you're getting emotional, and when you're thinking about all the lives or the people that you've affected, it's primarily us as black people who have loved and supported you.
He didn't affect us at all. He has not affected us at all. Do any of y'all feel affected by Chris Rock getting slapped? None of us felt traumatized. We did not feel no PTSD. And who gave you the right to speak for black people? It's always these kind of people, ain't it? That want to speak for all black people. It's always the house Negro that thinks it's okay to speak for all black people. No other black person would even think like that they speaking for all black folks. The only time we would do that if we saying, hey, we ain't going ziplining. I speak for all black folks when I say we ain't ziplining. We ain't finna zip line. We ain't finna hang glide. We ain't doing no. Count us out. He wants to stay relevant. His numbers had dropped. Nobody was checking him out. He was cold as ice. He had no drama going on. He couldn't say nothing. Nobody was thinking about this like in that way, and he's trying to keep it back on people's minds. I saw white people doing it all while this was doing numbers. Nowadays, like Will Smith is back. So they even had to let it go. because it was nothing they could do. The reason why it went over the limit is because it's Bad Boys 4. People wanted to see Martin and Will again. It wasn't just because of Will Smith. Martin Lawrence was there. The brothers like Martin. You gonna get the brothers and the sisters both wanting to go see some Bad Boys. So the black people gonna come out to the movies, and that's when the numbers are gonna go up. See, black people ain't been going to the movies because there ain't been nothing for black folks to really go see that they like. They don't want to go see Furiosa or The Fall Guy and all these other movies y'all had coming out. They'll just wait for that to come on Netflix, and they so distracted with all the streaming outlets they got, they just wait for streaming. So they ain't finna rush the theater because you ain't putting nothing out that really connects to them. But when you do, the brothers come out. Then white people like Bad Boys too. They gonna want to go. Hispanics like it because it's Miami. So they gonna want to see it. This is a Fast and the Furious type of movie. It's got guns, it's got explosions, it's got comedy, it's got blacks, whites, Latinos, hot chicks. Another Fast and the Furious type. But you see the numbers go up when we're involved because we represent that buying power. They still go to the movies, but the numbers is low because the brothers ain't going.
And watched you go on an international stage and slap one of us in the face and tarnished an historic event for one of the great black producers of modern times in Will Packer, possibly costing yourself and Antoine Fuqua an Oscar for emancipation along the way. I'm not going to say what you did to the comedic community. Hell, Jim Carrey spoke about that along with various others. We know you wouldn't have smacked Ricky Gervais, Bill Maher, Bill Burr, or a host of others. We know you wouldn't have done that. No apology necessary. I'm just saying, a lot of folks ain't get over that. A lot of folks find it hard to just go to the movies to watch you. I'm one of those people. And I never missed a Will Smith movie. Hitch, Concussion, all the Bad Boys movie from the first one to y'all with Gabrielle Union, who, by the way, should have been in 3 and 4, by the way. Along with a host of other things. I Am Legend, Independence Day, Men in Black, 1, 2, and 3. Will Smith, you're phenomenal. Phenomenal talent, phenomenal actor, phenomenal individual. You lost your way one night. We need to hear that from you.
He already spoke about that night, and I don't know why he feels that he's talking about, I find it hard to go to the movies to see you. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. That's what he just said, right? He said, who is we? He hit one of us. He hit Chris Rock. He hit one of us that night. No, he hit Chris Rock. Chris Rock, I bet you Chris Rock called him after this. It was like, why are you making me sound like a victim? I feel damaged now. After watching you do that. Look, man, leave me alone. That's what Chris gonna be like. I know. Look, I know you're a friend, man. You're not helping me. I'm already helped. When he want to apologize to me, he will on his time. Other than that, I don't need that nigga. It's done. Right. The black community is making that happen. But this man just said, now listen to the words he just said. He's one of those people who watched all Will Smith movies, but he cannot go to the movies and support Will now because he owes us an explanation. Now let's go back to what he just said minutes earlier.
At producing a program like the Academy Awards. That's what Will Smith did. Thereafter, did you see the movie Emancipation? Will Smith was sensational. Will Smith could have won an Oscar for that. Who is standing next to Will Smith? That's a black director. That's a black producer. His name is Antoine Fuqua, one of the best in the world. You ever see Olympus Has Fallen? You ever see Training Day? You ever seen Antoine Fisher? You ever seen the Equalizer movies with Denzel Washington? I can't even tell y'all about the movie that's coming out on Michael Jackson.
Yes, you can't tell us because you haven't even seen it, you dumb bastard. I can't even tell you about it. Exactly, because you ain't seen it, you dumb bastard. You have not seen it. No one has. So you can't tell us about it. Why are you acting like we don't know who Antoine Fuqua is? He act like he's telling us about somebody that we don't know. Did you see Training Day? Did you see? It's like, nigga, we know who he is. He acting like he one of them guys that act like he up on something that nobody know about. Oh, I got the new. Did you know Air Jordan's got the Carolina colors for like all the shoes? Did you know that? Oh my God. Now, did this man just say Emancipation was an outstanding movie that should have gotten an Oscar? He did just say that, right? Didn't he just say Emancipation should have gotten an Oscar? Right? We just heard him. Now, all the way at the end, he says he's the person that won't support Will Smith. He can't go to the movies to see Will. But you saw Emancipation. You just said it. So Emancipation came out when? After the goddamn slap. So after he slapped him, you went and saw Will Smith. You see how you get caught up in your own bullshit? You just told on yourself 3 minutes prior. In your own statement, you already done told on yourself. You gonna watch Bad Boy 4 because you want to watch Bad Boy 4, and you gonna go ahead and watch it. That ain't why you're mad. This ain't got nothing to do with all of the bullshit he just told you. Nope, not at all. Stephen A. Smith is pulling wool over your eyes. That had nothing to do with any of it. That ain't why he's mad. He's mad because while they were promoting this film, They didn't go on First Take. They did not go on First Take and talk to Stephen A. Smith at all. They cut him right out, and they went to Shannon Sharpe on Nightcap with him and Ocho Cinco.
The franchise due to evolve. What's the biggest difference?
They went on this platform. Martin and Will felt better with Shannon and Ocho Cinco than Stephen A. Smith. They were on Nightcap. And you was salty. You was jealous. Once again, jealous of Shannon Sharpe because he's bigger than you. And everybody want to talk to Shannon and don't want nothing to do with you. And a big production like this normally go through ESPN and First Take, and they come on your show and start talking about the movie, and they sat there and said, nah, we gonna go through Shannon Sharpe. We ain't dealing with Stephen A. Smith. We ain't dealing with him. And you got, oh my God, that boy, man, he hot. He hot at will. He hot. You see, everybody is starting to phase you out. They was like, nah, we'll deal with Shannon. We don't want nothing to do with you. So they went on Nightcap. And that was a better platform anyway. That's a hilarious show. The promo. If you ever seen Nightcap, definitely subscribe to Nightcap with Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharpe. Definitely check that out. And check out Martin Lawrence and Will Smith promote Bad Boys. It is the funniest thing you want to hear. It is hilarious because they can sit back and talk and just be themselves. Yeah, Mello and Miro interviewed with them. You know, they wanted to talk to the real people. You know, they wanted to talk to the people that's out there, that's got the streets, you know, and got the people that's going to go to the show and check them out. You know, they was like, look, we can get more done with Shannon Sharpe than we can with Stephen A. Smith. That's just out the question. So feeling that we got to go on his platform don't even make sense to us. So them appearing on Nightcap was essential. That was a big look for Nightcap.
This show obviously it's called Nightcap for a reason, and we can swear on the show. Obviously, I consider using derogatory language or swearing. I call it sentence enhancers. So if you would describe the action sequences, and you guys, it's okay to curse now. What word would you use to describe the action sequences in this movie?
We can motherfucking dope.
So this was the kind of setting they wanted anyway. They wanted to be in this kind of setting where they could just relax. They didn't have to be all super proper and deal with Stephen A. Bull crap. They wanted to come here, relax, and talk to the people. You know, and this is what it's about. Now, every time somebody black make a mistake, they want to harp on it and bring it down to bring them down. Every accomplishment they do. We get all bent out of shape when we see white folks do it. And then here comes Stephen A. doing the same thing. Somebody doing something successful, having something positive. Here you come with something they did 2 years ago that don't mean nothing. Something he did to another individual who he apologized to that individual. Whether that other individual accepted or not, it's up to him. But it ain't got nothing to do with black people. He didn't bring down a whole black culture because of it. Now, because I know this business, because I know how these things are and how they're ran, Stephen A. thought that what was going to happen is he's going to walk it all back and explain that it was taken out of context. He just got what he wanted out of it. Meanwhile, he got the attention. He got people upset. He got people talking about it. Then it goes away. That didn't happen the way he thought it was. He thought he could just say whatever he wanted to say the way he said it about Will Smith, and that was going to be accepted and tolerated. He is a member of the William Morris Agency only because Mark Shapiro, the guy who hired him at ESPN, when he used to work there, he hired Stephen A. Smith to work at ESPN. So he left and he joined the William Morris Agency. Now he's with William Morris Agency, WME. And he got Stephen A. to leave CAA and go over to William Morris. He said, look, you're not a journalist. You're not in sports. You're in entertainment. So you need to get into the entertainment field. And that's when he got him on the soap opera, and then he became Brick. A tough mobster type of guy. Right. So by doing all this, this is what happened. When that happened, the talent director or whoever controls programming, whoever set these interviews up, that person was made aware of what Stephen A. Smith said on this, and it went on the Breakfast Club or whatever platform what he said that he owed black people this and all of these things here. When all this positive news is coming out, Stephen A. saying all this negative crap. They were never, Will Smith's not going to call no Stephen A. Smith. The agents are going to make a call to the television director and the managers and the people that work at ESPN. And they get paid money to advertise on ESPN, like Bad Boys 4 and all these things. So the entertainment company is saying, hey, your talent is trying to sabotage our film and trying to telling people not to go see our film. And they're going to say, oh, well, that didn't happen on our platform. But he's like, well, he works for you. We're considering not bringing any of our talent on your network. That doesn't mean Will Smith. That means everybody who they have in their calendar. So it's Will, and it could be millions of others that signed up and saying, we don't feel comfortable coming on your show. Or none of my clients will be coming on your show. So now you're going to be affecting a whole lot of other business. Now, Stephen A. is going to get a call from his agent, from his bosses at ESPN, and they're going to say, you're going to have to fix this because you're getting ready to F up here for real. And you finna mess up your day job. Yeah, Mark Shapiro told him, you're not a journalist. Like you're not a sports journalist. That's why he was signed to a sports agency like CAA. That's what normally a sports agency do. When you sign to William Morris, that's more entertainment field. So he went towards entertainment. So he went to William Morris to get more opportunities in the entertainment field. Now he's opened himself up to where Mark Shapiro's feeling a lot of heat because of what was said. And there's people that do business over there that are not happy with how that came out. Oh yeah, it's serious business. And it's going to be real serious when he's out of it. Of course, it's always serious business because you want to make sure that you're running the shop the way you see fit, but you want to make sure you are doing the right things. And when you doing the right things, yeah, they fall in line. So after
Welcome back to this
all,
edition of the
Stephen A had to go back on the air to correct himself. Now, ain't no $1 million suit. This is a rush job. You see, ain't no green screen in the back. He's sitting in a little chair. He's sitting in a room like a kid who on punishment.
It was coming up short compared to what it had done numbers-wise in the past at the box office for Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3. Well, it turns out that this was a very productive weekend for Bad Boys Ride or Die. And Martin Lawrence and Will Smith deserve a boatload of credit for that because they got people returning to the movie theaters. So that was a huge, huge plus, and we can't ignore that. And let's give props where props is due. But I want to get more specific into what my take is before I have my boy on. Even though we're both in a similar venue, we're right near one another. I was having some technical difficulties, so he's going to be in a separate room because we're down here in Florida. But he's right here in the same vicinity as me. I just got him in a separate room, and I'll let you see who he is in a second. Impact Will Smith. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was a devastating thing. I'm not talking just for Chris Rock, who's a friend of mine. I'm talking for the black community because obviously Will Packer was the first black producer to be doing the Oscars in its history. And that was a devastating blow to him. Will Smith came out with Emancipation a year later for Apple and all of that stuff. Will Smith was sensational in that movie. So was Antoine Fuqua, the esteemed director and producer extraordinaire. One could easily argue that both of them would have won an Oscar for that.
But you said you find it hard to go see a Will Smith movie. You won't be going to see it. So here you are watching a movie and raving about a Will Smith movie that happened after the slap. This movie came out a year later after the slap, and you still talking about you won't go see the movie. Got caught in your own goddamn lie.
And that Will slap cost Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua an Oscar. That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about black folks everywhere aspiring to be in this business, aspiring to succeed, and something like that happens, and it was a blemish on all of us. Because I know how much white America reveres Will Smith. And the thinking along the lines in my mind was, hell, if he did that, what would the rest of us do? There are certain things that happen in the lives of an individual where those incidences are used as a license to castigate the rest of us. And that's what I was thinking about when I said what I said Friday about being torn as to wanting to go see the movie, but not wanting to see Will Smith. I wasn't encouraging anybody else not to do it. I was just saying that I was having trouble dealing with it. And then I got a call from my man, Charlie Mack. Charlie.
Then I got a call. Then I got a call. Then I got a call from Charlie Mack, and he's the first out the limo. He always does this. He never stands on business. You see, Stephen A., if you're going to say something, stand on it. He talked about Kyrie Irving. Somebody got to call and check him. Everybody got to get on the phone and check him. And yeah, after talking with them, now I see where I was wrong. So now I'm going to apologize. He's always getting a call. Somebody always getting in there and telling him something he's supposed to already know. How many times do you got to be wrong? How many times do somebody got to call you to tell you, hey, man, nigga, you crazy? Oh, yeah, I see it now. I was wrong. Jalen Rose was right. They defame you and trash you, and they apologize once the check clears. They walk it back once that check clears.
Mack is Will Smith's former security, good friend of Will Smith, closely connected to Will Smith for decades. I've known Charlie Mack for nearly 30 years. I got a lot of love for him. And he was on fire, calling me because he disagreed with my opinion and was going back and forth with me about it. And then he caught me because he said, Stephen A., what about grace? What about grace? This is how he feeds his family. This is how he earns his living. He don't have a right to earn a living ever again. He can't make a mistake, Stephen A., when he never made a mistake before. That's a damn good point. Bigger point he made.
I mean, listen to you. What about grace? This man can't make a mistake. That's a damn good point. Stupid. Are you crazy? That didn't go through your mind when you was making your dumbass statement. Somebody tell you something that's common sense. You just did this with Kyrie Irving. You just did it. It's too early to take calls. Shouts out to Star. That's right, the Star Report. Star made me a banner and everything, man. Shouts out to the Star, man, for the Star Report. Showing love. He just did the same thing. Somebody just told him common sense. Like, man, you know you can't do that, man. You got to look both ways before you cross the street. He's got a point. He's right. You got to look both ways crossing the street. Even if it's a one way, you got to look both ways before you cross the street. That's the thing. Nobody really deals with him. I don't even watch First Take. I can't take it. I can't watch it. It's unbearable. I don't see that other girl on there, that Kimberly Martin on there as much anymore. I guess people realize she's not good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could take it the whole nine. Absolutely. Yolanda Richardson. I see. Right. I never tell somebody to cancel somebody. It's their own opinion, but this is what we're talking about when you're dealing with somebody like him. I got a call from Charlie Mack.
It was Martin Lawrence. Because we all look at Martin Lawrence. If you watch Martin from back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, you can't find nobody that love Martin Lawrence more than me. That brother is brilliant. That brother has done nothing but create laughs and laughter for us for decades.
And you just told people basically they should be mad at Will Smith enough not to really check out the movie because they didn't want to sit down with your ass. They were sitting down with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco on Nightcap. And they didn't talk to Stephen A. Smith. That's what this whole thing is about. And he's trying to pretend like, oh no, I was standing up for Chris Rock. That smack was 2 years ago. So you want to wait till Bad Boys 4 come out to try to stand up for Chris Rock? So he got to get smacked for you to, for now, all of a sudden, 2 years later, after you done went to watch Emancipation after Chris got slapped, you can't watch Bad Boy 4 because of the slap now. You so phony, boy, I swear. Now you're concerned about Martin. Now it's, oh, yeah, Martin in the movie. You can't find nobody that love Martin more than me. No, we can't never find nobody that know more than you and who you know more than Stephen A. But if you ever want to see a BS artist, that's it right there. Look no further. He is a walking, talking BS machine. Mm-hmm. Nobody really knows him like that. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just that when you're put on a plateau like that, on a platform where you're supposed to be this great individual, and you show you just a scumbag, and you just did a scumbag thing, it comes back to haunt you.
We should all revere him. And he's the one that brought Will Smith on to Bad Boys. And Will Smith's still doing Bad Boy movies with him because you know he damn sure ain't trying to do it with anybody else. That's love right there. That's loyalty right there. And then you got to take into account the inordinate amount of people who work on a movie and how they're employed and how they have opportunities.
What this idiot does trying to tell you is because he don't really know. He's just going off what he heard on the nightcap thing. Martin Lawrence got the script because the original Bad Boys movie was Dana Carvey and John Lovitz. They was going to be Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett. And it was more comedy and way more jokes, and the script was really bad. The girl who they was protecting was also the boss. She was the main villain, which they got Tina Leone to play that role. The girl who was the material witness was also in on it and was like the main boss of the whole thing. So that was all changed in the script. They changed the whole script around. They brought in another villain and they made the material witness different. She was just a real material witness. She wasn't the villain. She ended up being a real witness. They had the girl getting killed in the beginning. They changed the entire movie around. The thing that they had from the original script and the original with John Lovitz and Dana Carvey is the whole wife dynamic and the swap. Like he had to pretend to be him and he had to pretend. That's in the original script. See, that's what Stephen A. don't know because he doesn't know a damn thing. In the original script, the fact that he had to pretend to be the partners had to pretend to basically be each other. He had to pretend to be Mike Lowry. That was in the original script. And he was watching the house with the wife. All of that was in the original script. And that's the only thing that's the same. The police captain is different. Everything has changed. He's mad. He's salty about Will not coming to interview with him for the Bad Boys 4. Will and Martin didn't come sit with him on First Take. And First Take is the biggest show in the world. They've been #1 for 12 years. Why wouldn't Will come on the show? We've been #1 for 12 years. What the hell is Nightcap? I love my man Shannon Sharp to death. Him and Ocho do great work over there. But what is Nightcap, the First Take? I just don't think that was a smart move.
And all because Will Smith is doing what he's doing. And then you got to take into account the fact that throughout Will Smith's life, not just his career, there has been exponentially far more good than bad.
Now he's walking everything back. Now he's talking about there's been more good than bad with Will. You know, because he's gonna have to go around there when he goes back to Philly. Look, now he's doing a whole Will Smith puff piece because Charlie Mack is still in Philly. And you're going to have to see Charlie Mack, buddy. He's Charlie Mack, and he's the first out the limo.
And I certainly did not mean to gloss over that. I didn't mean to act like that wasn't reality. That didn't happen. And so I really appreciate my man, my brother, Charlie Mack, for calling me and passionately making that case to remind me of what Will Smith is, who he is, and what he has meant to all of us. You see,
You need Charlie Mack to remind you who Will Smith is. Charlie gonna have a fofo and you in a headlock reminding you who Will is. He gonna have you in a headlock. And you see, guns go off. You see my point, right? This thing can go off. Oh my God. We're gonna be like, we're gonna be down there in the back cave. Man, Will Smith was down there with AR Ab. He was down there chilling in the lab with AR Ab in Philly. They will grab you, they will scoop you up, Stephen A. You and that old ass bodyguard. I'm like, how you got a bodyguard who need a bodyguard? That ain't your bodyguard is old and broken down. Who he finna protect? You lucky ain't nobody thinking about you in New York to be coming after you.
Black people gravitating to him. I'm getting text messages and emails all over the place. Who said he lost our support? He never lost it. We didn't like what he did. It was unfortunate what he did. But damn it, we love Will Smith and we forgive him. You don't hear Chris Rock talking about it, complaining about him. Eventually they'll meet and they'll talk, Stephen A. We heard all of that. So I got to stand down.
So I gotta stand down. Who told you to stand up? You don't stand up to the white man. You don't stand up to your boss and say, hey, man, Pat McAfee ain't going to be on my show. First Take is me. You can't stand up to your boss. Go tell your boss what to do. Tell your boss what you ain't doing no more. Tell him your worth. That's what you do.
Then I saw this video right here, y'all. Take a look at this. And that just elocutes my point even better.
We're in Baldwin Hills. We're about to go in the theater. It's a ritual I have. I do it like when I have a movie come out. Or Friday, Saturday. And... Hey, I'm glad y'all enjoyed that.
Oh my God!
That was Will Smith at the Baldwin Hills movie theater in LA. You saw how fans swarmed him? You saw all them black people swarming him? Because he's still loved. Loved by all of us. He's loved by me. Still, as salty as I am about what happened and the effect that I thought and still think to some degree that it could have on us in the industry. But I really appreciate Charlie Mack.
Man, get this fool out our face, man. Oh my God. The 24-hour walk back. Boy, the things that people will do for views. I'm telling you, ain't no more to even say right there. I aired him out in 5 minutes on the Patreon. I spent 5 minutes. Here we spent the hour going through this breakdown of all this. This is the nice version. I was able to do it my way on the Patreon and get it going the way it should. I like that version, the 5-minute version, a lot better. I could just let it loose, knowing what a scumbag he is. You're a scumbag, Stephen A. Smith. That's exactly what you are. You are a complete scumbag. I don't even know how you can look in the mirror and look at yourself. Just a scumbag. Disgusting scumbag. So I'm finna go recharge the battery. I just had to let y'all see this double talking bastard. All right. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life. Welcome to HDII TV, the Star Report. Star went out there and made a banner for me and put it up there. The homie, big homie, then did it. Appreciated him. He said he was going to do it, and he did it. We appreciate that a lot. And we up out.